Paul, I'm excited to hear your testimony, man. How did you become a Christian, and what was the journey like? Where would you start?
Okay, so I always believed in Jesus. Like, I believed that Jesus was God. Every Easter, they would act out in our church the crucifixion. I get kicked out of Catholic school.
Why'd you get kicked out?
Just for being a disciplinary problem.
Okay.
You know, being bad. I did things, you know. I get to like high school. I start getting into drugs, of course, drinking, right?
What are some issues that you see in society right now, and how can we work to solve it?
The biggest problem in the world is the lack of Jesus. We're going to get into where kind of my story really begins. So, in 1995, me and my buddy were living in an apartment. We always got jobs together, worked together, and we got fired from the job. We went to go get on welfare. So I'm standing in this long line. Started asking me, he's like, oh, you know Jesus? And I go, well, you know, yeah, I believe in Jesus, you know. And while I'm coming up, I see my buddy talking to this girl. Little girl had a baseball cap on. You could see her face. She was beautiful. So I started to have feelings for her. But then she came home. I left the stuff on the bed, and she came out and she's like, I love you. Getting ready, and I'm coming up this road on the bus, and I got my head against the window. Singing and clapping his hands and smiling and praising the Lord. I'm like, that's that guy. But I never saw that guy. Some people I've told this story to, and they said you shouldn't say this, but they told me I met an angel.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Bros Think Big. We have Paul with us. Thank you for coming on, Paul.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, I'm super
How you
pumped
doing?
to have this episode, man.
Awesome.
So excited. Go. So we've
Welcome
known
on.
Paul for over, what, a year now?
Yeah.
We met him at our church. We were doing men's discipleship, and he happened to be one of our group people who we did the study and stuff with. And, man, let me tell you, man, you made an impression. For real. In that group, man, your jokes.
A good one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good one. Because, look, everybody was so serious.
A Christian one?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Remember we had the men's discipleship last year?
Yes.
Yeah, we're having one this year, but last year. And then, dude, everybody's just, I would say, like, kind of serious and stuff.
Yes.
And you're just, like, there,
Very
joking
serious.
around. And the funniest part was nobody got your jokes.
No.
Like, me and Georgie are sitting there and laughing because we understand
Mm-hmm.
you're not, like, you know, being serious about it. But these people think that, oh, like, he's messing with us. But
Tell me a joke right now.
I believe the Lord gave me a sense of humor
closer
to live in this dark world that I believe we live in. I believe we live in a very dark world, and everything is very serious.
Paul, your voice is, I don't want to like keep on. So just bring it closer. Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Just keep it like that. Yep.
And so even though the blood of Christ is serious and Jesus dying on the cross for our sins, that we have a way into heaven,
Amen.
it's very serious.
Yeah.
But also, I believe that there's room for humor, you know,
Yeah.
in a world that could use it,
For sure.
you know.
Make people
But
laugh.
thank you. Yes.
Lift up the mood and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And that helps a lot. Like, I'm not the type of person in the room to be like that. So I would say in my world to say, I would need a person like you, for example, who is just able to say jokes and is especially good at it.
Yes.
And these type of stuff. Because I'm not the one to make jokes. So
Yeah.
there's always somebody that needs to be there to, I guess, lift up the mood a little bit.
Little
and,
bit.
You know, throw a little joke in there,
Yes,
laughter,
yes.
and sometimes get your mind off of things for a little bit. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
there's always a time and place and a balance for different personalities in the room. So,
Yep.
Paul,
And I get a lot out of
Yeah.
the people who are serious and keep it serious.
For sure.
I need those people to balance me
exactly.
out. Yep.
Yeah. Paul, I'm excited to hear your testimony, man. How did you become a Christian, and what was the journey like? Where would you start?
Okay, so I always tell people my journey and my testimony is kind of a very long one.
Yeah.
Because number one, it starts with me being raised Catholic, of course.
Right.
and going to Catholic school and
It always starts there, huh?
yeah, always starts with Catholicism, doesn't it? And parents shipping you off to a Sunday morning church, but they don't go themselves. They give you $5 in an envelope and tell you to put this in the basket and make sure and you're wondering why you're going to this.
Yeah.
But your parents aren't going, but they're making you go, and
Right.
so I was introduced to, let's say, the stories of the Bible at a young age. I really, I knew that there was a man, Jesus, who they're claiming died on a cross. Like when I was little and went to church, every Easter, they would act out in our church the crucifixion and his journey,
And the risen Christ.
Stations of the cross.
Yeah.
And
Did they do a good job?
They did. They used real not real, but people dressed as Roman soldiers. They had whips, and the guy would carry the cross, and they would do all that.
Wow.
So I knew that,
Yeah.
right? But you're a kid, and you don't know that it's real. See, that's I think a problem maybe with Catholicism and you think they're stories. They don't really explain. Like I knew Noah's Ark,
Yeah.
but I looked at it as a children's story.
Like a good story.
Yeah,
nice
there's a
story.
guy-
Yeah.
Got 2 of every animal and put them on this boat. I didn't even believe it was, know it was real.
Right.
I knew probably of Daniel and the lion's den, but that's all I knew is that, there's a Daniel and he got put in with the lions, but the God rescued him.
Yeah. And you believe that to be true, Daniel's story?
I didn't really think about it. If I probably did, I probably would have not believed it
Okay.
at a young age.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a story that teach us something, but I didn't know what.
Yep.
Because I didn't know the context around the book of Daniel.
Exactly. Yeah.
I knew the story of David and Goliath, of course.
Yeah.
Little guy
That's
slays a
very
big
popular.
giant with a slingshot, Didn't understand that there was a whole other thing going on around
Before that, yep.
I knew of the apostles, Peter and John, and they were fishermen, I probably knew of Peter's denial of Jesus and Judas's betrayal. I've heard these things.
Right.
Okay. So my parents get divorced. I'm 11 years old, and all my siblings are gone from the house. And my mom remarries a man, and we moved to Northeast Philadelphia.
And how old are you?
11.
11.
Back in Catholic school, making me go to church on Sundays. By this time, I had started ripping open the envelope my mom would give me, and I wouldn't even go to church. I would go buy comic books. 2 years later, I was buying cigarettes with them, and I would just go hide out somewhere for an hour, read my comic books, come back, tell my mom I went to church, And I'm going to Catholic school, and they're teaching you all this stuff. So at some point, 6th, 7th grade, I started paying attention
Yeah.
and getting a little deeper into the Bible. Not much, but for a 7th grader, I'm reading what they're telling me.
Yeah.
The sermons that they're preaching on Sunday mornings. I start looking at stuff. Like I started reading about Peter and the different things and about the betrayal and how Jesus forgave him and
From the Bible, right?
yes.
Okay.
And Judas and what surrounded that whole thing about him betraying and how there's a contrast there. Peter went and asked forgiveness and Jesus forgave him and Judas didn't and, went out and hung himself, So I'm learning now, I'm putting this together. I read the Genesis a little bit about the creation of the world,
Yep.
So I think that God at that point was planting seeds already. The seeds were being planted. It goes into predestination and free will. I believe we're all preordained, and then he gives us free will to choose choose Jesus as Lord and Savior. So I started to become one of those guys who didn't like the Catholic Church, who thought they were hypocrites, saw things, thought they were just about money, saw people going to, all these families from the neighborhood, they would go to church on Sundays, right?
Yeah, like always.
And pray and all. And then you would see them and they would use racial slurs and they would drink and get drunk and stuff. And you're just like, okay, well, seems a little hypocritical to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to be going there on Sundays, then you shouldn't be doing these things. I just felt that as a child.
Yeah.
So I was kind of insubordinate because of my family, what was going on in my family background with the divorce and the dysfunctionality. I had a very dysfunctional family, a lot of anger, a lot of hatred, a lot of violence. So that's what I saw. So I get kicked out of Catholic school.
Why'd you get kicked out?
Just for being a disciplinary problem.
Okay.
Being bad. I did things,
So they just called your parents and said
A
we're
lot
just-
of times,
Okay.
and then by the end of 7th grade, they said, we can't have your son return here. He's too bad.
Now, do
And,
you pay anything when you go to a Catholic church? schools.
what did you say?
Do you pay to go to
Yeah,
Catholic?
you pay.
Okay.
It's
a
like
lot of
it's almost
money.
like a private school.
Yeah.
To some extent. Yeah.
Yes. So, that I would say that's my first taste, and it stuck with me.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything with it. Just, never touched a Bible. We always had a Bible in our house. We always had a big, huge Bible. Opened up. My mom, I still have this Bible that's been around before I was born.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do much. So then I get to like high school.
Yeah.
I start getting into drugs, of course, drinking, right? But I always believed in Jesus. Like, I believed that Jesus was God
Yeah.
as much as I knew back then. You know what I mean? But I didn't do anything right. I'm like, okay, Jesus is who he says he is. I believed whatever I read in that Bible
Yeah.
without anybody telling me. I just, in my heart, it felt right,
Right. Yeah. Very similar to mine as well.
And of course, you hear other things about a Buddha, Confucius, Allah, and there's none of them seemed right to me. I didn't know much about them. I'm like,
Know a little bit of it.
yeah, I'm just.
And how'd you find about those school friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In the culture of the day,
Exactly.
there are a lot of 70s, a lot of people were talking about Buddha,
Okay. So spirituality was big then.
Yeah, it seemed like, everybody was searching for something.
Right.
And so through those years, there were different stages where I would kind of pick up a Bible, maybe read a little bit and just put it down. Never really talked about it with anybody. There was nobody to talk about it with. And I just held it in my heart. I have 2 older brothers, both of whom are atheists. And I remember at one time, at this point, I think I was going to community college.
And now they didn't come to they didn't grow up in the same school as you, your brothers?
They did total Catholic.
Okay.
That's where the Catholicism totally turned them off.
Okay.
And
Because of
they
what
went
you
a
also
different
experienced.
way and just decided the whole thing was fake,
Okay.
man-made, made-up nonsense.
Right.
There's no real God.
And they're older than you, right?
Yes. So I was taking a course in college. I think I took a course on religion.
Okay.
So I had a girlfriend and I was doing something. So I had my Bible open. I was doing a report.
Yeah.
And my brother came in with his girlfriend. I always remember this. And he goes, "You're being brainwashed by that. That's nonsense."
Your brother told you that, or
Yeah. And I'm like, and this was like maybe my first real conversation. And I'm like, "What, John? You don't believe in that?" He's like, "No, you shouldn't believe in that. It's just all made up." And I couldn't argue with him on the points he was making because I was too young. I didn't have enough knowledge. And I just remember saying to him, he goes, "You're just believing it because that's what they've been telling you since you were a kid." And I'm like, "But John, I just feel that it's right. I don't know if it's because I've heard, because I said I was like you. I didn't believe it for a minute. I thought it was all made up." I go, "But it didn't last with me. Something in me told me that it was real.
Yeah.
Not what those people taught me. In fact, if I just went off by the way they acted and what they taught me, I'd probably be like him.
Right.
I probably would have just walked away from it all and never believed there was a God. But God put the Holy Spirit, I think, at that young age to like I said, plant seeds. I don't know any other way to describe it. Say he grabbed the hold of my heart then and knew that I was on a journey. I knew that. God knew that.
Yeah.
So I graduate. I'm in college. Okay. So that was the end of that. Now what I do is I become a total drug addict, alcoholic throughout my 20s. From high school to into my 20s now.
And you're still studying the Bible?
No.
So you felt it, you believed it, there was something to that in
but
your
I
heart?
went astray.
But
I went into the world.
Right.
Because I didn't know about accepting Christ and changing your life.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Because
Because they
you
didn't
were
teach
still
that
good.
in Catholic
Would you say you
school.
really believed then?
Huh?
Would you say you really believed then?
No.
Yeah.
No. Good question. Absolutely not.
Like you didn't really have real faith.
No, I just believed that there was a guy named Jesus who came down, who did die for our sin. I didn't understand even the whole bloodiness and what he actually went through.
Yeah.
The beatings, the ripping out of the beard, the spitting, just mutilated. I just said, again, a story.
Yep.
But I believed it was true that Jesus came and died and that he was God. And I just thought, okay, you go about your life. What I probably believed, Mike, at that time, one of those guys who believed good people go to heaven, bad people go to hell.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand, okay, well, what constitutes a good person?
Yep.
Are you good?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Hitler's a bad person. Hitler's going to hell. I'm going to heaven. Right.
Yeah.
I was like that.
Now, real quick, I want to tell you because I went to Catholic school all the way up to the third grade,
Right,
as well, and so like I understand like where you're coming from with like how very like rigid and just like how like in my opinion, as you were telling your story, I can only imagine like Catholicism as like the system it has set up, like the schools and stuff like that. It's like from the outside, it's like you think it's like, oh, it's not a problem, right? Like they're learning about God and stuff like that.
Yes,
but it's so like in routine that it's hard to actually be intentional and conscious within those moments. Like, how like,
especially
like
as a young person,
we don't just go to church, right? We don't just go to church. We don't just take communion. We don't just read the Bible. We're intentionally there, trying to practice our faith and trying to grow our faith. It's just like, you don't just go to the gym, right? No, you actually intentionally try to grow in the gym stuff like that. It's the same way. It's like, you're not just, and I feel like Catholicism kind of, the way the system is kind of created, even with like school, even outside of religion, like the school systems are created like, no one asks like, why am I doing this? Why am I here? No one really cares to ask that question. They're just like, this is just all they know. All they know is what they're brought up in.
Right.
And so it's like this box that like people are just in and they can't like think outside of it. And so, I don't even blame you for even thinking about that. I thought the same thing. It's like, I know these stories, sure, but it's like, I don't understand it to the fullest extent. And it could have been just because I'm young, right?
Right.
But, not a part of it. It's just like that's the only thing that you know.
Yes,
really, it's your only worldview.
I went through that, Mike. I questioned myself because I'm like, are people right? Am I just believing this because this is what I've been taught since I was a kid? Just like people in the Middle East are Muslim because that's what they've been taught, and that's what I just kept going back, going, no, there's more to it, because there was a point where I didn't believe it. So it's not just what I'm being taught because I went against it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then something stirred in my heart and I'm like, nope, there's something about this. There's definitely a God. I believe that. That whole Big Bang Theory, that's what separated me. I'm like, I can't wrap my head around the fact that there was just absolute nothing and blackness and then something just combusted at it like nowhere.
Yeah, right.
I find that harder to believe than there's an actual God who created everything.
Right. It's harder to believe it because it
to
sounds
me, and
illogical.
people say they have a hard time believing that there's a God who created everything. I find the other one way harder to believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, how would you go to find your answers or seek for your answers on the questions?
I didn't.
You just asked, but it
I
just
did.
kind of
I
killed
drank.
that thought?
I drank. I was lost in a world of drugs and alcohol, bro. And worldly selfishness, feed me. I just wanted to party. I wanted to escape from my family life that I was brought up in.
Okay.
You know, it was kind of so bad that, you know.
How were you introduced to alcohol and drugs?
Probably family.
Family?
Well, you know,
Like the
everybody.
environment you grew up in.
Right?
Yeah, everybody drank, you know. So it was your, you know, my brothers.
That's all you know in that point, right?
Yeah,
It's the
when
whole
I
idea.
was a little kid, my brothers would sit on the corner on Friday nights. You know, they were in high school. I'd watch them right from my front window. They'd be across the street drinking 40s of beer. You know what I mean? That's what they did.
Right.
So when it was my turn, 12, 13, you know, went and stole beer from the refrigerator. And then when I got kicked out of Catholic school, it was going to be bad for public school, but I was going to public school and I met a guy. Now he's selling pot, you know, hey, $10, let me grab some of that. And I really like that, you know.
You said you were in middle school or high school?
8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So end of middle school.
And then, so I drank and smoked weed until about a senior in high school. Somebody had cocaine, tried that, and I was off to the races. I never looked back. That was all I wanted to do.
Escape, right? Escape from reality.
Yep.
And the
Shove
difficulty
cocaine
of-
up my nose and drink alcohol and hang with buddies and, you know, talk nonsense. And so now we're going to get into, I'll jump ahead to where kind of my story really begins. So in 1995, me and my buddy were living in an apartment. We always got jobs together, worked together. And we were working, had a good job, Acme Markets warehouse. And, you know, we would go get our paycheck, just drink and drug all weekend. And that's how we lived. And we got fired from the job for missing time. You know what I mean?
Not showing up?
Yeah, and stuff. So now we're living in this apartment and we have no money. And so for the first time in my life, I couldn't go home anymore. I was like, my mom won't have me at this point. I'd been kicked out of my house several times, you know.
Because of your behavior?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to live. My dad had died by this point, so I couldn't go live with him anymore. So we're sitting there, and we went to go get on welfare. You know, to get food, we needed food and money, man. And so for the first time, I went down, applied for welfare. So back then, you used to have to go down under the L to this building, and you would have to stand in line all day and go up. It was, I think, once a month you did it. And you would get actual food stamps. They didn't have the card back then. You would get actual food stamps. And so much in money.
Okay.
And
like how much?
I forget back then.
Yeah.
You know, it might have been 200, whatever, for the month or whatever.
Yeah, enough to kind of
and
through, I guess.
So what people would do and what I would do, there would always be people outside of the place, of the welfare office, waiting because everybody sold their food stamps to get cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would do that too, you know. I would get, you know, if I got $200 in food stamps, somebody would give me $100 in cash for the 200, and I'd rather take that.
Oh, really?
Because I wanted to buy drugs.
Okay.
And beer.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing the stamp that they were giving you could only spend it on food, right?
Only on food.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So
how were you guys able to like apply to that welfare and be able to get it without an parent or anything?
Well, that you don't need a parent. You just have to be broke. You know,
Okay.
you can't own anything, which we didn't.
Yeah.
And so I'm down there one time in the summertime. hot Philly day. And the line is so long going up there, right? You're just standing there. You had to do this. And there was 3 lines, right? There was 3 different lines, and they were all out the door every month. And so I want to go back. So before this happened, 95, like 1991, when I was dating that girl, I said, I had gone to a rehab. I went to her and I said, I have a drug problem, and she found a rehab and I went into it. I was 21. And when I got out of the rehab, I got a tattoo. And my very first tattoo was a Jesus up here. I got Jesus on my arm, right? And then
during the rehab?
Like after I got out.
Okay.
Because I thought I was good.
Yeah.
Of course, I went back to doing drugs.
But during the rehab, you wanted to get that tattoo, right?
Yeah,
when you got out,
right.
Okay.
See, that's what I mean. Like Jesus was there. I didn't even know what the meaning was. I just knew Jesus was the guy, right? Jesus was the man, right?
Yeah.
If you want to be, get to heaven, Jesus, what I mean?
Right,
but
right.
I didn't know.
You didn't understand it in depth.
Yeah.
There was something.
I thought I was going just because, I knew of Jesus.
Yeah.
So then I got the devil on my other arm later on, a couple years later. So now at this point, I just had Jesus and the devil. And at this point in my life, I had opened up Revelation. And I had read the book of Revelation. It really interested me.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't understand a thing I read in it. You know what I mean?
Dude, I still don't.
Right.
It. Like,
other than new heaven and new earth.
Right.
And
Jesus coming back.
Yeah. And I was very interested in the spiritual world, angels and demons. I believed in that.
Yeah.
I believed that there was angels. I believed that there was actual demons out there. Now, I didn't know. Now I know so much more that there really is, you know.
But I mean, when you look around you, you see evil, you see good.
Yes.
There's
That's
that
what
contrast.
it was, Sadul. I knew we lived in a very, very dark world.
Yeah.
I knew there was something not right.
Yep.
That's what made me just cling to God a little bit. I'm like, this world is evil. I just saw it. I'm like, it's not right. It just didn't feel right. It's like there were times when I didn't want to be here anymore. I'm like, I don't want to live. I struggled with psychiatric, help and been in mental institutions because I never felt like I fit into this world. Like it was just evil and everybody was selfish and wars. And so anyway, so I was very interested in that. Mm-hmm. Now, this is where God knows, right? God knows our hearts and what's inside of us. And he knew that I was interested in the angels and the demons and Revelation. So he put this guy here. And when you look back now, you see this. You don't know it at the time.
Yep, when you look back.
So I'm standing in this long line, and there's a guy next to me. And he's looking at my tattoos, right? And I go, please don't let this guy start talking to me. I don't have time for crazy right now. You know what I mean?
How'd you know he was going to talk to you?
You could just feel it. Okay. I was just hoping he didn't. Okay. But I could feel his eyes, right? And it's a long line. And you're like, this guy's going to start talking to me. And I just want to get my drugs and get out of here. My drug money, get out. So sure enough, he starts talking to me. But he started talking to me about the afterlife and angels and demons and devils because he saw my tattoos.
And those were the only 2 tattoos you had?
Yeah, I didn't have any other.
Okay.
And so he started asking me, he's like, oh, you know Jesus? And I go, well, I believe in Jesus, and the devil. And I go, yeah, I believe they're real. Yeah, I go, I believe in heaven. That's what I believe in, heaven and hell.
Right.
And he starts questioning me. I'm like, here we go, right? Hour. I'm like, I got to talk to this guy for an hour before I get up there.
So you were interested in the topics, but you didn't want to really engage?
I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't like people. You know what I mean? I wasn't a people person. God is still working on me in that, breaking down those walls. So anyway, I talked to him, told him what I believed, told him I read Revelation, and he was kind of schooling me on it. You know, he's like, "That's real stuff. You know, that's really going to happen." And he said, after next door to the welfare place was a McDonald's, and he goes, "After this, would you like to go to McDonald's and get a bite to eat and have a sandwich and talk some more?" Yeah. So I'm like, "Okay." I was hooked.
Okay.
And
now, was this guy a Christian?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So
wait, Sadula's telling a story.
Patience.
We go in. I think I bought him food because he didn't have any money or something. I'm like, we just got money. You know, Christians who want to plant a seed, they always want the food for free. So we get a McDonald's sandwich and we're sitting there and he's talking more. And he was asking me about my thing. And so I told him about the Catholicism, how I was brought up and all. Right. And he goes, "Paul, it sounds like you want to be close to Jesus." And he goes, "I go to a different kind of church because you may not be used to it." He goes, "But it's a good church." He goes, "They read the Bible verse for verse."
Yeah. And
I'm like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yes." And he pulls out a card. And it's from Calvary Chapel there on Bustleton and Philmont.
Oh, wow.
1995. Had Joe Foch on it.
Oh, that's like OG original.
Wait, I still have the card on my refrigerator.
Wow. And so like when did they start? 1990? When did they start?
I don't know. I always
was
forget.
like right
90
around there,
or
something
91.
like
90 or 91.
Because it's been about 35, 40 years.
Yeah. When he talks about it, but like at the old meter factory and all that. Sure. Yeah, I think it was 90, 91. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and the card always had my favorite verse on it, that Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all ye who are tired and heavy laden, I'll give you rest."
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, that's how I feel. Like God knows.
Yeah.
Like that verse hit me. And I'm like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of life, living this way. He's like, "God will give you rest, man." And I'm like, and he goes, "You might want to go check it out." He gives me the card. And he goes, "They have Wednesday services." Because I think, let's say this was like a Monday.
Yeah.
And I go, "Well, are you going to be there?" And he said, "Yes." So I'm like, okay.
At least I will know somebody, right?
Yeah. I take the card, I put it in my pocket. Wednesday comes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm hopping a bus up to this Calvary, right?
Yeah, why not?
I hop the bus, I get off of Bustleton Avenue, I walk up, and I go in, I never see the dude. And I'm like, man, all these people are here on a Wednesday?
Is that a lot of people?
Wait, where was this at?
Calvary.
Like same spot?
Yep. Yeah. So the band comes out now, right? And I'm not used to that, right, Georgie?
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Right. And I got to tell you, they were on fire that night. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, they're banging drums, dude, and praising the Lord. And I'm like, man,
you've seen.
I sat in the very back, by the way.
Okay.
By myself. And I'm just taking this in, right? And I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. Joe comes out. This is back when he still wore Hawaiian shirts. That was his thing. He always wore a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. I've seen some of his old videos.
And I'm like, okay, this guy's wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Why was he wearing a Hawaiian shirt?
He just always wore them because he's from the West Coast. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah, so he always had on a Hawaiian shirt. He just recently, in the past, I'd say 5-10 years, stopped wearing them anymore.
He still wears shirts and...
Yeah, I mean, these were like
just long sleeve.
Flower printed Hawaiian shirts, man. And he starts doing the message and reading from the Bible. And I couldn't tell you what he was on or what it was about, where he was at. I just know he started saying how he was an ex-drug addict and loved LSD.
What's LSD? It's one of the drugs?
Yes.
Okay.
And I loved that. That was my thing too. Cocaine and LSD. And I'm like, wait a minute. Because you never hear a priest saying that. You know what I mean? And I'm like...
Well, some do, but...
Did I?
Yeah.
So, I never heard him. So, I'm I'm like, wow, this is totally different. Like, this is just a guy up here who lived life but knows the Bible, you know? But I never saw that guy. So I kind of got discouraged.
Yeah, yeah.
And I left. But there was another seed planted, right? Another seed planted. God knew. He took I went on a long journey. It probably, I could have got hooked right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And accepted the Lord, you know, but I didn't.
And did you talk to anybody that day?
Nope.
No?
Not at one soul.
Just walked in and out.
Wow. Never saw that guy. I was like, well, that guy lied to me.
He wasn't there?
No, I didn't see him. And I looked, you know, and I wouldn't have missed this guy. He was kind of unique. I'm going to tell you.
Did you ever see him?
Well,
sorry.
It's a good question.
I need to listen
These
to
guys
the
are not
story.
letting you finish the story.
No, but it's good. That's a good question because that is a good question, and I'm going to tell you.
Continue.
So, I leave, and I never go back. I go back into the world, and I just, you know, I'm depressed. You know, just drugs. And I'm just like, I know this isn't what I should be doing. I'm better than this. I don't want to live this way. So to answer your question, Michael.
Yeah, please.
Never saw that guy in my life before that day, right?
Okay.
Never saw him. Never saw him again, except for one time. A couple days or a week after I went that Wednesday night. I'm on a bus coming from Franklin Mills down this road that was going to drop me off on this road. That I've been walking down this road in my neighborhood because where I lived wasn't by the welfare office.
Yeah.
Two totally different neighborhoods.
Okay.
So now I'm in my neighborhood where I lived, getting ready, and I'm coming up this road on the bus, and I got my head against the window. And I see this guy walking up this road. And I'm like, that's that guy. He's singing and clapping his hands and smiling and praising the Lord. And at the time, I didn't put it together. I just thought, wow, there's that guy again on Ashton Road that I've been on now for 15 years up and down. I've never, ever seen this guy in my life.
Yeah. And then you saw.
And he's there praising the Lord as I'm riding the bus by. Never saw this guy again. Now, mind you, I go to Calvary. Never, ever saw him. And I just pieced it together like later in my life that he knew I had gone to Calvary and knew that I was got to see and knew that I was going to and was singing and praising him to the Lord. Because he knew I was on that bus coming by.
What? Really?
I believe that. Some people I've told this story to, and they said you shouldn't say this, but they told me I met an angel. You know,
That's what I was thinking right now.
now whether that's true or not,
you didn't see him. He
Yeah.
wasn't there. He just
never,
appeared.
ever, never, nope. And he was singing and praising to the Lord as my bus was driving back by, clapping his hands like this, just walking up a street. So go ahead, you got a question?
Because, dude, remember Georgie got into an accident? Our friend.
Yeah.
Did he say they found the guy that?
No.
So
Still haven't.
what happened was a bunch of friends. They were getting drunk that night, and they're driving back. They get into a car crash. The car's on fire.
terrible one.
A terrible one. Yeah. They're all unconscious. I mean, they're all unconscious, but like they wake up after the car's like about to be on fire and about to explode. Now, there's nobody there around. You know, it's like 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Nobody's there. And the other guys managed to get out. And this guy's like still in the car. He's not able to get out. He was in the middle, I think, in the back seat. In the middle, two guys were on his right and left. And then he's like not able to get out. The car's about to explode. It's on fire. These guys are like
Not explode, but get you on fire. Yeah.
yeah. And then as soon as like I don't know, he said somebody dragged him out.
Yeah.
Obviously the guys couldn't do that because they were all laying down. They're like they wanted to tell him like, oh George, but they can't get up. They're all like paralyzed in a sense. And he gets dragged out. Someone takes him out of the car. As soon as he gets out, I don't remember if he told me he exploded or just caught on fire.
It just caught on fire
Yeah,
right
caught
away.
on
Like,
fire.
as soon as
he
he's out,
gets out.
caught on
As soon
fire.
as he gets out, the car catches on fire. Now, obviously, that guy should have called the cops, right? The cops pulled up, but obviously, if somebody got him out of the car, they would stay there. They would call the cops. It was actually other people calling the cops that were driving by. They saw the accident, they're calling the cops. Not the guy that...
And none of his friends in the car pulled him out.
None of his... Of course,
They couldn't.
they don't even know what's going on.
Worried about themselves, kind of.
Okay.
Like out of probably like in a panic mode.
Yes,
they got out. They don't know. They don't even know this guy's out of the car. They're still looking for him. They haven't found the guy. Obviously, they're posting everywhere. I mean, this is on GoFundMe. Everybody knows this. They're like posting on Facebook. I think on Instagram too. Like, where's the guy? Thank God for this guy. Whatever. They can't find him.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a similar story to that. Obviously, I can't say it was an angel,
right?
But it's more likely that he was because they can't find the guy. And let's think like logically, right? If I got somebody out, I would have stayed there to watch over them.
Right.
That's the reason why I'm getting them out of the car. Nobody's there.
Especially
as
their
soon as
kids,
I get him out, it catches on fire. There's just a lot of things that adds up that doesn't sound like it's got to be a miracle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I see what you're saying.
Yes. So I don't know if he was an angel either. I like the thought that he was.
I just actually thought about that while you were saying the story.
Like,
I was also thinking about that a little bit.
I kind of keep it to myself, but I kind of in my heart believe that the Lord sent me an angel, man. Okay.
You know what's interesting too?
And I didn't listen to the angel either. I'm still, you know what I mean? God sent me an angel. I'm still not going. You know what I mean?
You know what's interesting too is whatever you're telling, like the story by, is everything the guy was talking to you about seemed like the things that were already in your heart.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
sir.
It all adds up. Everything that you didn't experience and just kind of wanted to feel, you were feeling going to Calvary Chapel.
Yep.
Feeling it from this guy, telling you things that you were always fascinated with. And the way to get you to the Lord was through those things that you were already interested in.
He knew I loved music.
Yeah.
And I told you the band was on fire that night. You know how they'll play slow songs, slow worship songs? I don't think that night there was any. They were all upbeat with drums going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Now, if you liked it, how come you didn't go back to it?
Because the world was just bigger at that point. You know what I mean? I was too far gone. And that's why I was
Plus, when you don't have anybody else there, you're just like, oh, I'm not going to go alone or something.
And, yeah, and I was just very unhappy and depressed in life, you know.
You weren't disciplined, right?
Not disciplined. And all I knew is my buddies and drugs. Yeah. But I knew it had to come to an end. So this goes on with my story. So I never went back. I saw that guy like that, stuck that in my mind. It was like, at that time, it was just a cool factor. I go, wow, that's pretty cool. This guy who I've never seen in my life walking up a street, clapping and singing to the Lord.
And your stop wasn't anywhere close to where you saw that guy? Get off the bus or go and see him or something?
No, it was.
It's like, why would he have you go to a church that he doesn't go to?
You've
never seen him there.
Like never seen him. No, he was.
Not even once.
Nope.
Yeah.
It was about 2 blocks, let's say.
Yeah.
It was because it's a long road up the hill. So he was about a block to 2 blocks down. And I got off the bus. And now that you say that, guess what? I never thought about this, Sadul. Yeah. I got off the bus.
He was gone.
He wasn't coming up that hill. He might have been gone by then. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But then he's standing there worshiping and stuff.
That's as I was driving by, you know?
Yeah.
But when I got off the bus, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Very
interesting.
Okay. So I go back to doing drugs and stuff, right? So now it's 1999. I'm back living with my mother. Oh, because of that apartment when I was on the welfare, I finally had to go knock on my mother's door. We got kicked out of there because we couldn't pay
and your friend?
Yeah, couldn't pay the rent. So my buddy went back to his parents. I'm like, I can't go to my parents. You know, they're not going to. I went down to the Bridge and Pratt, the L station, slept there overnight in a Dunkin' Donuts, or tried to sleep, had no money. And when I was there, all the people were going to work the next day. And I saw a friend of mine, an acquaintance, this man, Scotty. And he goes, Paul, what are you doing down here? And I said, dude, I got kicked out of my apartment. I said, I slept down here last night. I said, I got no money. I said, I'm afraid to go ask my mom, Scotty, if she'll let me in. I have a feeling she's going to say no, and I'm terrified. Hands me $10. And he goes, get yourself something to eat. take the bus to your mother's house and go ask her to move in. It's another sign of God taking care of me. And I said, okay, Scotty, thank you. So I did. And I went, I remember I knocked on the door and my mother answered. She's like, what? And I'm like, Mom, I'm just tired. I just want to sleep. I want to take a nap. I'm filthy. I slept down at a bus station. She goes, we can't have you here, Paul. You know that. And I'm like, that's what I said. I know, but I just want to sleep. I'm not asking to live here. She goes, hold on a minute. She shut the door on me. And I think she went to talk to her husband, my stepfather. She come back and open the door and she said, you can go upstairs to your room and take a nap and take a shower. She's like, you got to go. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So I went and took a shower, went and laid down, and I woke up and it's probably dinner time now. So I was coming down the steps and she's like, do you want to stay for dinner? And I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry.
Why not?
So we were sitting there and she goes, Jim is my stepfather, her husband. And she said, I talked to Jim about it. You're my son. I can't turn you away. You can come and live here. But she goes, you can never be like you were before. She said she lived there. She told me, she goes, we were scared of you. We lived in fear of you because of my anger and craziness and
Bring a little
the way my dad raised me. So I said, thank you. So I was living there now. I'm living there. It's 1999. It's just St. Patty's Day night. Partying with my friends. Seeing this girl who's just absolutely crazy, out of her mind. Crazy
from
girl.
drugs and stuff.
No, she didn't do drugs. No,
Just her temper.
She's just crazy.
Yeah, just a crazy, She wanted me to get her pregnant. Like she wanted to have it. I'm like, well, first of all, who would want to have a baby with me?
And she was sober?
Yes.
What?
And I'm like 28 years old. I'm living with my mom. I got no job.
You're probably handsome, man.
I was a good looking dude.
Yeah.
So,
You still are.
so, I got in a fight that night, got my nose broken, got put in handcuffs in the back of a cop car, let go, went back in the house doing cocaine through a broken nose full of blood. Just nuts.
Way to ruin the first date going back to your home, right?
Huh?
Way to ruin your reputation going back to your home and your mom.
No. I had been bad. This is like 3 years later.
Oh, okay.
So now I've been living back with my mom for like 3 years. They're like, yo, dude, when are you going to get out of this house? So I was just at the end of my rope. I was getting unemployment at this time because I legitimately, at this time, I think I got laid off from a job that went out of business. So I was able to collect unemployment. So my brother got me tickets to a Bruce Springsteen concert in Jersey in the Meadowlands.
Bruce who?
Bruce Springsteen, a musician.
No.
Okay. So I go up there with a buddy who drove. I didn't drive at this point. I never got a license. He drives. I have a sock full of dimes. That's it. Just a sock full of dimes to pay for the parking. I got $15 in dimes and a case of beer and 2 joints somehow I had. And we're in the parking lot before the concert, drinking beer. And I took a walk with my beer to meet people in the parking lot. And I was done with the beer, so I was coming back to the car to get another one. And while I'm coming up, I see my buddy talking to this girl. Little girl had a baseball cap on, jean, like corduroy, loose pants, not tight, a sweatshirt. But you could see her face. She was beautiful, right underneath this baseball hat. She was dressed like a tomboy, but she had blonde hair, beautiful blue eyes. So I come back. I'm like, hey, what's going on here, right? And I had no self-esteem, by the way, none, because I'm a loser, right? I was 320 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Very fat and out of shape. And she starts talking to me, and she seen my tattoo because I had cut off sleeves, Jesus and the devil. And she goes, oh, I think I'm going to hang with this arm. And she grabbed the hold of the arm with the Jesus on it, right? And she goes, as a matter of fact, Jesus just led me to write something. She goes, I never wrote anything in all my life. And she goes, I was sitting in bed the other night and the Spirit came over me and I wrote this poem. Would you like to hear it? I'm like, yeah. What, I didn't care about the poem. You know what I mean? I'm like, sure.
Cared about her.
You're beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she reads me this poem, me and my buddy, and she's looking at me in the eyes as she's reading this, like just focused on me. And I'm looking at her. I still have the poem to this day. In a folder at home, I still have this thing. And it was.
Oh, she gave it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I go, wow, that was beautiful. She's like, yeah, I never wrote anything. She goes, I'm not a writer.
Do you remember what it was about?
No, it was about the inside and
just her feelings.
yes, but
about
it was,
God towards
yes,
God. Okay.
yes, and so wait a minute, what did I say?
She gave you the poem. She read it to you.
What happened after?
Yeah.
Well, how did you think? How'd you feel?
She said, God, I felt the Spirit. So I knew she liked God, right? But I didn't know at the time she was saved.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about that still. Like even going to Calvary, meeting that guy, I didn't know about getting saved. You know what I mean? So, the writing, I go, I like to write. I said, I think I could be a writer.
You told her this, yeah.
Yeah. And I said, I think I have a novel in me. And I said, but I'm just such around negativity around here. My environment. She goes, you need a change of environment. So anyway, we hung out during the concert. And she goes, Paul, I live in North Jersey, right? She lived in North Jersey. She goes, I'm home for the summer. I go to school out in Northern California. I go to a university out there. She goes, I'm going to keep in contact with you. I like you. I'm like, okay. So I went home. I gave her my number. I'm like, this girl's never going to call me. Like, she was fit like you guys. She was into working out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, sure enough, about a week later, I'm home. Phone rings. I answer it. I'm up in my room. I answer it. Hey, her name was Tara. Hey, this is Tara. I go, hey, Tara. So we start talking, and I tell her, how sad I am, how I don't want to be here anymore. Thanksgiving was coming up. And I'm like, I'm not even looking forward to Thanksgiving with my family. It's just the same redundant stuff over and over every year. Busting on people, jokes, fighting, just fake phoniness. My family's phony. Like, we only see each other on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? And the rest of the year, we don't even know each other. And she goes, why don't you come out and spend Thanksgiving with me and my family? I'm like, what? Like, I never heard of that. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know your family.
And she doesn't know you that well either, right?
I met you one time in a parking lot. And but this is what type of people they were.
Yeah.
And I go, what, your parents won't mind? And she's like, no, they'd love to have you. You know what I mean? She goes, I meet friends all the time. And I could tell, like, now she's like, I meet people all the time. I go, okay, this kind of chick that she is, she just meets people and she's just friendly. And so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do that. So sure enough, I tell my parents, I'm like, listen, I'm not going to be here because I talked to her more on the phone. The more we talked, the more comfortable I got.
Yeah.
And like I said, ask your parents before I do this. And she, Dad, Mom and Dad, Paul wants to come. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So I go to my family. I'm like, listen, I'm not going to be here for Thanksgiving. I'm going to this girl's house I met. Like, all right.
And you have a big family, right?
Kind of big. I got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and, the mother and stepfather. And then my sisters were married,
right. Okay, yeah.
Had children. So, yeah.
Pretty big, yeah.
So I take a train up there. I take a train to Penn Station. She picks me up at Penn Station. And we go to her house, and they're millionaires. They're just absolute millionaires. The dad worked hard all his life and built.
Fortune.
Yes. Yeah. But they were the most down-to-earth people in the world. Like, you would never in a million years think that they had money like that. You know what I mean? They just lived regular. And they were just the nicest people. And I spent the Thanksgiving with them and had a great time to, you know, from Thursday to...
How did her parents greet you? Like, just very welcoming and stuff?
Very welcoming, yeah. Just like, you know, thanks for coming. And yeah, our daughters are very friendly. There was one thing. It got time for bed on the first night. And I'm sitting on the couch. The mom and dad would always watch TV in the living room. And I'm sitting there. And Tara goes, come on, Paul, it's time to go to bed. Right? We're going to go to bed. And I'm like, I thought I was just going to sleep on the couch. You know what I mean? And she's telling me to come up to her room. And I'm like, no, and the parents are sitting there. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, she's like, no, Paul, we're going to sleep up here. And I'm like looking at the dad. I'm like, what? Like,
and he's not saying anything.
So I'm
not reacting.
I'm all nervous. So I go, okay. And I go up the steps and we get in the room. And I go, Tara, your parents don't think this is odd, man. Like, she's like, no, well, I'm going to sleep in the bed and you're going to sleep on the floor. And I go, yeah, but still, I'm in your bedroom. You know what I mean? You're a female. Like, but I was like, whatever. And because, you know, I just figured she didn't think of me like that. So then there's no problem. So I spent the weekend there. I go. And so while we were there, I know, I'm going to keep telling her how miserable I am in Philadelphia, how I hate it. And she keeps saying, you need a change of environment. I think you could be a writer. She goes, why don't you move out to California with me? And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I have a roommate, but she's going back down to, she's going to Stanford. So she's moving back down to where Stanford is.
So she's got space.
She goes, I got a room. I could use a roommate anyway. She really didn't need a roommate. Her parents paid for everything.
Yeah.
You know?
She wanted it.
So God put it in my brain, in my heart. I went home and I go, listen, I'm going to stay here until my unemployment runs out. I'm going to save all my checks. Stop doing drugs. Stop buying beer. Stayed in every weekend and saved up the rest of my check. I told him, I said, I'm buying a plane ticket and moving to California.
Told your
family.
Parents that?
Yeah, my parents. And, you know, nobody believed. They're like, no, Paul's never going to do that, this and that. Next thing, January came, I went to a travel agency. I said, I need a one-way ticket to California as far as, you know, to San Francisco.
How much were tickets back then?
So $500 for...
Really?
Yeah.
So one way.
California.
Just a one way.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Really? That's still a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
How come? Is it because California was so popular, or?
Yeah, flying from Philly to So anyway, no, it was $500 from Philly to San Fran.
Yeah.
So I go, man, that's a lot. I only had like $3,000, right?
Yeah.
To my name.
Yeah.
And the travel agent woman said, can you get to Baltimore? And I go, well, why? And she goes, because it's cheaper from Baltimore. And I'm like, why is that? And she's like, Philly's just a bigger airport. Baltimore. She goes, if you can get to Baltimore, it's only $300. I said, I'll get to Baltimore. So I bought the ticket from Baltimore. I had friends come and drive me in a van to Baltimore. You know, send me off kind of
Maryland,
thing.
Right?
Maryland?
Maryland?
Okay.
Yeah, Maryland.
Yeah.
So with,
probably what, 3 hour drive? 4?
2.
2?
Yeah, hour and a half, 2.
Okay.
So they drove me there and saw me off, van load of friends. She picked me up in Frisco. We lived 5 hours above San Francisco. We lived all the way up in the Redwoods.
Is that a nice place?
Beautiful.
Yeah, I bet.
This is all part of God's plan because he knew I would find it. We lived an hour from the Oregon border. So we were all the way at the tippy top of California.
Yeah.
And we go, and I start living there, and I start writing. And she took me to a gym down below the thing of our thing. She would get up every morning at 5:00 and go work out before school. And she took me down one day, and she goes, "Give them money." And I go, "But Tara, I only have so much money, right?" She goes, "This is a necessity. Sign up and give them money, right?" So I go, "Okay." So now I'm a member of the gym. Yeah. I wake up 5:00. I'm doing all kinds of stuff I haven't done since I was a teenager. I'm riding bikes. In fact, I broke my ribs.
Benching 300 pounds, right?
Yo, I lost 80 pounds like that, bro.
Yeah.
In 6 months, I think.
Wow.
I dropped 80 pounds. I would swim.
Wow.
I used to go and swim.
Yeah, swimming. Yeah,
and ride the
calories.
bike. Yep. And then I did other things. Like I said, we were constantly riding bikes because that's what she did.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Did she do any sports?
What she does now, I believe, and what she was one you wanted to do, she runs marathons.
Okay.
And she wants to do like the Ironman competitions.
Wow, that's
it's like that, huh?
Yeah, she was very, very tight.
Dude, you run like 20 miles. You swim a long distance too, pretty much. You bike.
Right. Yep.
So straight, you get off the bike. You probably have to ride 50 miles, maybe
something like that,
maybe more. Get off, run like about 21 miles, and then swim another long distance, all in one day, all together. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah. So she got me fit. So this whole time, I'm writing, but she was going to school, working out, and I couldn't get a job. It was a very small town. It was a college town, right? And once people got jobs there, they held on to them, the locals, because there wasn't the big industry out there was the logging industry. So everybody was like working in the logging place,
Also, California wasn't like that big at the time, or is that what you're saying?
Not up where we were.
Oh, not where you were.
Yeah, it was a very small town.
Okay,
It was just college, really, you know. But it was beautiful, the redwoods.
You didn't go to the college. You just stayed with the roommate. Roommate.
But I would go up to the college. Another thing is, so she was on academic probation when I moved out there too. She told me that when she goes, "Yeah, I'm in danger of getting kicked out." I go, "Well, you might have want to told me that before I moved down here." You know what I mean? So she goes, "I have to have a C average in order to stay here at the college." I go, "Well, what are you at?" She's like, "I'm at a D." I said, "Listen, I can't help you with any of your sports courses." Like she was going for sports medicine, kinesiology, it's called.
Yeah.
And I said, "I can't help you with any of that." I said, "But if you got anything with English, history, you got to take." She goes, "I got to take all them courses because I never took them because she's not good at them." Yeah. I said, "Bring me your books and your schoolwork. Tell me what you got to do."
So you were a good student in school?
Yes. I was intelligent.
Okay.
And she brought me, and I would just read and do her I would write papers. And I remember her used to bring, I go, "What'd I get?" She'd be like a B, and I get all mad. I go, "That's an A paper. Your professor doesn't know anything." But anyway, I brought her average up to like a B.
Wow.
Yeah, so she got to stay in school.
From a D to B, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started running out of money, and I'm like, this is the first time I think that I noticed that she had cared about me. I wouldn't say feelings, but that she was just nice. And I go, "Tara, I'm getting worried." I said, "I only have so much money left." And she goes, "Paul, listen, you're not going anywhere. I brought you out here. This is your home." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And it made me feel comfortable. So I started to have feelings for her. You know what I mean? And I finally did get a job in a grocery store on the night crew. I got in, which she goes, "Boy, you're fortunate because jobs are hard to come by out here." And so anyway, and I was still writing the book.
Now, what kind of book were you writing, and what kind of stories
about my
were you
life.
into? Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With a little bit of fiction in it here and there, but mainly based on my life.
Yeah.
And So she went home for break one time again, like one of the holidays, Thanksgiving. But when she would go home for break, I would stay out there because I didn't have any money, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to see my family. And so she went out.
Were you still talking to them though, like phone calls, something like that?
They would call me drunk. That's what that was part of the problem. I think they led to the downfall. They're very toxic, and not to blame anything because I had my own issues going on. But I let them in out there, and I shouldn't have. I should have cut them off then, But I didn't know. I didn't know,
what it would lead to.
Yeah, what Jesus had intended for me. So she comes home, and I had finished the book. And I had told her before she had gone that I had feelings for her and that I thought I loved her and stuff. And she's like, well, no, whatever. She was coming home that night. A friend was picking her up from the airport. I had finished the book. And I went to her room and I put the book on her pillow. I had made her a mixtape because that's what guys did back then. Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah.
I was one of them. Made a mixtape of songs because we both loved music. We were into music.
Yeah.
Put that on her bed, and like flowers or something. And I was in the living room. Now, mind you, I still drank out there.
Okay. So you still had your bad habits and
yes.
Okay.
Were they as extreme though?
No.
Okay.
No.
Am I very moderate? Were they moderate?
They were.
Okay.
They got bad again.
Okay.
But so, I'll get to the point. So, I'm sorry, I did skip over. Before all this is what she used to go to Bible studies
there
at college, and she used to go to church every Sunday. And there were nights where she would be reading her Bible.
Yeah.
And I watched and observed this, right? She'd go, Tuesday night, she'd be like, I'm going to the Bible study up on campus or whatever. Sundays, she would go to this. It was a little Calvary chapel out in
California?
Here. Yeah.
Is that where he started it, or did he start it in Philadelphia?
No.
Joe?
It was first in California.
First in California.
California.
Well, Joe started it in Philly. But Calvary Chapel started in California.
Oh, what am I saying?
Yeah. And Joe came from
I
there.
didn't know that.
But they were Southern California. So I was up north, but it was a little Calvary Chapel. It was only 25 people.
Yeah. It's crazy too. I went to the Florida Keys this earlier this year, and there was a Calvary Chapel in Florida Keys.
Yes.
The littlest island ever. There's a Calvary Chapel, but it's like super small building.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what this was.
Yeah, it's the size of like a little office.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she would always go there. I never went with her.
How long were you with her?
So altogether 3 years.
And throughout those 3 years, you never went to church with her?
No, I did.
Okay.
I want to get my timing right,
Yeah.
because I'm trying to think if it was after we came romantically involved or before.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Like, what was her reason for getting you out there? Because you just became friends.
Yeah, and she was just a good person.
Wow.
Like she was, I'm telling you, like you never met anybody like her or her family.
Yeah.
They called her the fearless friend because she traveled. She was rich. So she had friends everywhere.
Yeah.
So she,
I'm guessing you told her the story that, you live with your parents,
Yep.
you don't really have money, you
Yep.
don't know what to do.
Yep.
So it just helped you out because she
Yes.
had the ability to do
she
something.
had the ability to do it, and she believed in me.
That's like the Christian person who,
Yes.
when God gives it to you, you give it
Yes.
right back and help other people. So it's kind of like what you're doing.
How are you?
What's
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
We're filming podcasts.
So I think it was before.
Yeah.
I started asking her questions because of reading the Bible. And I think one night I go, I'm going to come to this Bible study with you.
Yeah.
So I started going to that. Right. And it was all college kids. I'm 28 years old,
Like,
But
what are the odds that I was Calvary Chapel too? Like,
I know.
Yeah.
And so I'll get to that, man. So I started going to the thing. And then I think one Sunday, I think I did this because I liked her. You know what I mean? And I go, I'm going to start going to church with you. So I go to this little Calvary chapel. I'm like, oh, Calvary Chapel. And people were coming up to me, because you're new. It's a small town. Everybody's like, and they're like, where are you from? I'm like, Philly. And they're like, Pastor Joe. And they're like, I'm like, Pastor Joe? They're like, he's one of the most popular pastors. He's on the radio. And I'm like, I didn't know all that. But I'm like, oh, wow. Because I've only been to the Calvary one time out here, They're like, no, your pastor's pretty big out there. I go, yeah, it's a big church. So I started doing those things.
Yeah.
But she never pushed it on me. She knew. She's like, just be an example.
Yep.
So then she came home. I left the stuff on the bed, and she came out, and she's like, I love you. I want to be with you.
Yeah.
Because she believed that so I did, got romantically involved in her.
Wait.
With her.
I have a question. So when you first told her that you loved her and stuff, what did she tell you? She just said it's not going to work out. What did she tell you?
Yeah, well, she's like, I'm not really looking for anybody. I had a boyfriend, and I'm just kind of rolling with the Lord right now, kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, I got you.
She never, not that it wouldn't work out or anything. She just kind of,
She wanted to take it
I
slow.
think she was used to guys, because she was so friendly and so beautiful. There was probably guys telling her they loved her all the time, So she kind of just kept me at bay and was like, I'm not really looking for anybody.
You're also her roommate too. I'm guessing you guys had a sort of relationship already, like a friendship
Yes,
sort of thing.
yes. And but then I think the whole time she was starting to like me.
Yeah.
And I think when I lost the weight, and
So you became fit?
yeah.
Okay.
I think she saw once I wrote and finished this kind of book. It was just a rough draft. I wrote everything in. It wasn't like it was on the computer or anything.
Oh wow.
So, she
How long was the book, if you don't mind me asking?
about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be cutting you off.
No, that's all right. She said she
kind of
loved me.
lost
I'd
track
gone
of
to
it.
church. So now we're seeing each other, right? We're a couple. And I'm going to church. And there was the music leader there was a guy named Mike. He was the assistant pastor and the worship leader. Because it was so small, And I remember on one night, Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, something, at the Calvary Chapel itself, up in the upper room, he would do a suicide hotline, and he would man the phone in case people wanted to commit suicide. They would call, and this is the Lord, because out of nowhere one day, it was the night I knew he was over there, and I just took a liking to this guy, Mike. He was very nice. And I go, yo, Tara, we're not doing anything. You want to go over and talk to Mike? I'd like to go talk to him and, see.
You've never met him?
I did meet him.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's like, okay. So we go over, and he's up in the room manning, the suicide hotline, and we start talking, and I'm telling him, now I met him, but I didn't really tell him about myself, or, so I'm telling him all about myself. Philly, met Tara, came out here, talking about Jesus. Do you know Jesus? I thought I knew Jesus, you know what I mean? He's like, so he goes, there's a way to be sure that, you know Jesus and you'll get to heaven. I'm like, what's that? He's like, if you say this prayer with me. So I go, now this I remember verbatim, because I go, okay, Michael, I got a question for you, right? This is the humanness of you debating this whole thing, right? Instead of just surrendering.
Yeah.
I'm like, I curse. He's like, yeah. I go, I smoke. He's like, yeah. I go, I drink. He's like, yes. I go, so let's say I say this prayer with you right now, right? And he's like, yeah. And I go, what if I keep cursing? He goes, yeah. I go, what if I keep smoking? He's like, I go, what if I keep drinking? He goes, I'm going to stop you right there, Paul. He goes, you got a lot of what ifs, right? I go, yes. He goes, what if you die right now? Where are you going? I go, say the prayer with me. Right? I go,
Yeah.
sold, man. Like, say this prayer with me. And that's when I accepted Jesus into my heart.
Yeah.
That very day. Now, the thing is, I was on fire. Like, this is why I kind of bust on Eugene a lot.
Yeah.
Because I've been where Eugene's at.
Yeah.
We called it, because I remember going to Calvary the next Sunday and going, yeah, Jesus, I know Jesus, and I'm on fire. And guy goes, you're on the pink cloud, man. And he goes, just make sure it lasts, I go, why? He goes, sometimes pink clouds, he goes, people are on fire, but they lose it.
Yeah.
And I did. So I was on fire out there, really got Jesus in my heart, but I kept doing the things I was doing. Drinking, and the drinking became bad again.
Now you're in a relationship with this girl too, right?
Fornicating.
Okay.
Yeah, they told me at that church, and that's when I kind of got turned off, because I didn't want what I heard. I went
Did you know that you couldn't do that as a Christian?
No. So I went to the pastor of this Pastor Dino.
Did she know?
No. You don't cut people off in the middle of a sentence. Side note of the podcast. So I went to the pastor one day, because I'm on the pink cloud. I'm all Jesus fired up. And I go, I want to be more involved. What can I do? And I remember him going, he goes, yo, you live over there with that tower, right? I go, yeah. He's like, are you like boyfriend and girlfriend? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, well, do you have sexual? And I thought it was kind of a weird question, but I go, yeah, we're intimate. He goes, you're living in sin, bro. You got to move out of there.
Mike told you that?
Well, no,
the
the other
one of the
pastor,
pastors.
Pastor Dino. So, of course, I got defensive. And I'm like, here we go. All you can't do, right? You know what I mean? I'm like...
So you just didn't like discipline.
Yeah, well, I'm like, it wasn't like he was saying it was in the Bible. He I'm thinking it's coming from him. You know what I mean? So I'm like...
Did you not ask him?
No. I think he might have been like, that's got bad in the eyes of God or something. You're not supposed to do that. You got to wait for marriage. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go home and talk to her about it. You know what I mean? By this time, the cracks in our relationship had already started happening with my drinking, my anger. So at this point, she didn't really care about the sex. She's like, all right, we won't have sex. And I'm like, okay. I didn't want that to be the answer, So that's kind of what happened. I moved back into my room instead of because when we got involved, I just now shared our room. Okay. So I moved back in my room, went and told the pastor, I said, it's not feasible for me to move out. I said, she brought me out here. I don't have any money. You know what I mean? I'm like, so I have to live there. It's my home. And I said, so we just resided to the fact that we won't have sex anymore. He's like, all right, if you can do that. So we slipped here and there. But anyway, cut this story down to that. I ruined that relationship. And we had been talking about getting married and living out there because she wanted to do all her athletics out there, have that. And we were going to come home and, I was going to write or whatever. And then we were going to move back out there. Well, by the time she graduated college, now 3 years later, I had ruined the relationship. And she graduated, she flew back out. She took me back out once again, dropped me off on my mom's doorstep and was like, I can't be with you anymore. You're crazy.
She told you this?
Yeah.
How did you ruin the relationship?
But she you know what? She was one girl. She said, Paul, I always love you. And you have a good heart. You're not a dark soul. You have light. She goes, but you're nuts, man. You're just crazy. I can't deal with your temper and stuff, And I'm like, okay. So I was like, I understand. I mean, it was heartbreaking. I still think about her to this day and think that she was the one. But So I ruined the relationship by just drinking. I started having drugs mailed out to me out there. You know what I mean?
She found out.
Well, she knew.
Oh, she
I
knew.
didn't hide it, you know? And just like she said, I had a bad temper, you know?
And those were things that were causing it. I mean, realistically.
Yeah. She's like, do you realize you drink every day? And I didn't even see myself slipping it. She was, you drink every day. She goes, you have to go to bed drunk. So I'm like, all right. So she drops me back off. Now I'm 32, knocking on my mom's door, going, I need a place to live. She lets me in. I live there. Never go to Calvary, right? Still haven't gone back up there. But I knew about it. And I got a job. I got a good job, making good money. Now I want to save money and get out of my mom's house. Yeah. But I went back, so I'm back with the same crew 3 years later, doing drugs, right? I had a breakdown in work one night because I went to work after like a 3-day bender. And I went and I said, I need help. They got me in a rehab. And I got sober. And I was going to AA.
How long did it take you, the rehab?
It was like a 30-dayer.
Okay.
30-day rehab. And I get out and I start going to AA. And you know, AA is all about the higher power.
Yep.
Well, I knew Jesus now, right? So every time that I spoke, I'm going, Jesus, Jesus. And they're telling me you can't say that. You got to say higher power. And I didn't like that, right? I'm like, well, I start going, they're like, your higher powers can be anything. I go, listen, if you're high, they're like, your higher power could be a chair. I go, if your higher power is a chair, then you're an idiot. I go, because you should be more intelligent than a chair.
Yeah.
I go, so if you're looking at a chair to save you, I don't want to be a part of that club. So
it's like an illusion at that point.
Yeah.
Delusion.
I'm like, there's God is Jesus. So anyway, Timmy Patrick had just started doing the addictions meeting up at Calvary, and my buddy told me about it because I was telling him how much I'm like, I don't even want to go to AA. I hate the people. I'm like, they're godless. And he goes, yo, Calvary's got an alternative to addictions on Monday nights. I know Calvary, right?
Yeah, you've been there. You liked it.
So I start going to the addictions meeting, and that's how I got really into this Calvary now. I went when Timmy Patrick started doing the Monday night addictions meeting, and I got very involved in that. I was there every Monday. I would come early, set out Bibles, set out chairs, pick the chairs up, all that. God was using me. Friends were asking me who would get sober. I'm like, I don't go to AA. I go to Calvary. I had friends come up there, accept Christ. You know, the Lord was using me. So I was sober. Now I'm back on fire for the Lord. For 2 years, clean and sober, on fire to the Lord, going. I started going Wednesday nights. I didn't go Sunday still because Sundays was still early for me. But back then they had Bible study on Wednesday night. I mean, on Sunday night, they didn't have prayer. They had another Bible study, right?
They didn't have the evening prayer, right? You're saying?
Yeah, they didn't have the evening prayer. They would do a Bible study, just like they did Sunday and Wednesdays.
Yep. Just one time?
No, all the time, every Sunday.
No, I mean, like, you know how they have three services?
That's just one service. Night. Yeah.
Okay.
And it would be a different book. Then, like Sunday mornings would be a book, Wednesdays would be a book, and then Sundays they did a different book.
Okay.
So I would go Sunday nights. See, I was a night guy, so I went Sundays, Mondays, and Wednesdays, nighttime. And, you know, still at church, though, I wouldn't talk to anybody. I would just go in and out and do my own thing. You know, I got a Bible, and very furious of people, you know, just, after 2 years of sobriety, I threw a hissy fit at God because I felt he wasn't giving me what I wanted. You know, one of them things.
And what were you?
I'm doing everything for you, Lord. What, you know, I thought I should be more at the church and at the meeting than I was. Mm-hmm. Like I thought I could do a Bible study, and whenever Timmy wasn't there, and he was asking other people to do them and not me, and I kind of got
And you never asked, right?
Yeah, no. I went
just
out
kinda
and bought a
let-
case
yeah.
of beer and got drunk on my 2-year anniversary of being sober. And I was off to the races again. Next thing you know, I stopped going to church, just out and about. But now, people always say this, when Jesus is in your heart, that's never the same. You can't live that life. So I had total guilt every time I would get drunk or go buy a bag of dope. You know what I mean? It was like, if you have guilt before it, when you know Jesus and do that, you just like want to die. I felt like I was pounding nails into his hands. I'm literally crucifying my own Savior by doing this. But I did it. And it wasn't until so that was 2002 to like 2004, or 2004 to 2006.
Yeah.
Then I went off the rails 2006.
In your mid-30s, right?
Yep. I go out again 2006. I would still go to Calvary sporadically.
Not as
Still
regularly.
didn't talk to anybody. Just would go in and say, that was another thing. Oh, I went to church. Jesus loves me. I'm going to heaven. You know what I mean? And then about 2009 or 10 is when I just said, I got to get serious. And I wanted to know everything that was in that Bible. And I started going. And I rededicated my life there. They did the altar call one time, and I did go up. The reason I said no to your question when you said, did you do that? Because I don't really count it because I got saved in that Calvary Chapel. Okay. But I did do a rededication one time at our Calvary when Joe asked. And I think ever since then is now, I just totally rely on Jesus and the Lord, and he's in my heart and he's my everything. That's my story, man.
Dude, it's a great story. I don't know what you were saying.
Mike seemed like he was getting a little bored with it. Like, all
Me?
right, dude.
What? I'm just listening.
Okay.
No, it's good.
Joking,
No,
Michael.
Paul,
I'm listening.
I know you mentioned about writing the book and how that was the fear.
Never did it.
That held you back. Why is that?
So I'm just, you know how people have a fear of standing in front of an audience?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Speaking
That's
in
how
front
it
of an
was?
audience, that's a common fear, right?
Yeah.
Mine goes deeper than that. I'm just so afraid of failure that I don't want to try anything. Because, and that all has to do with childhood. That all has to do with the way you were brought up. I was never encouraged to do it. My dad basically told me I lived with a guy who told me I was stupid. You know what I mean? Like literally said it.
Yeah.
To me, my brothers, because he didn't know what else. He didn't know anything else. Now I realize that. He didn't know.
And
He said,
he
what
was
are you,
projecting,
stupid?
right?
What do you want to smack? That was the extent of my talks. My dad never talked to me. My dad never told me he loved me. Not one time.
But did people
Not one
encourage
time.
you?
Huh?
Did people encourage you that your book was good?
She did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let anybody read it but her.
Okay.
Nobody ever read that but her.
You still have that book?
Yep.
Oh, I want to read it. Can I read it? Dude, I would want to read that.
We have to see. It's got to be changed now.
No, like you mean you edited it ever since then or not?
I never edited it.
You never edited
Never
it?
opened it.
Oh, wow.
I just carried it with me. Because I've often thought about writing
Sometimes
again.
that's better to do. Just keep it to yourself.
Maybe
That was your purpose writing it.
Here was my purpose. Here was not my purpose. Here was the Lord's purpose. The Lord took me 3,500 miles away from my home, away from my comfort zone, picked me up and put me out there because I struggled with this when I came back. I cried when I came back to Philly. I never thought I was going to see this place again.
And you didn't want to be here? That's why
Didn't want to be here. Took me out there to find him and accept him.
Yeah.
And then brought me all the way back here and dumped me back off. to maybe just spread the word to my old friends.
Right.
Plant seeds, whatever it may be. But
I think it's never too late to write a book, man. A lot of the times people write the books actually like later on.
Yes.
So look, fear is a big thing that holds people back.
Yes.
I still have it till this day about some things. We all do. But to some extent, we have to understand that God is bigger. Like the thing that I was saying today about what Pastor Rich was ministering to us is, for example, the story of David and Goliath, right? Everybody else on the battlefield looks at Goliath and sees themselves with the Goliath.
Yes.
And obviously, when you're standing against a guy who was 9 foot tall, has a 600-pound spear and like a couple 100-pound of gear on him, right? Obviously, what are you going to do to that guy? You're going to be a little and he's just going to crush you with his heel.
Yeah.
But then David gets on the battlefield, and this is what he sees. He sees Goliath and himself, and he sees God.
God, yep.
Who God is. It's not that he knows he's going to beat Goliath. He knows the only way he's going to beat Goliath. And he told him that on the battlefield that he was getting, as he's approaching him, he says, I won't do it, but God will do it. God will smite you.
Yes.
God will deliver you into my hands. I won't do it. He never told him what he was going to do because he was weak. He was young. He was younger than us. He was probably 17 or something.
Yes, yes.
Right. But
a shepherd.
Right, and a shepherd. In his history, this is what he had though. With the Lord, putting him in a life of being a shepherd, right? He's taking care of the sheep, right?
Yeah.
Sheep who are vulnerable, they can't defend themselves. It's got to be a person who guides them, right? Because they're sheep. And a lion and a bear, both of them, it's literally mentioned in there, that went after his sheep. He didn't just say, oh, like, what am I going to do with this lion or a bear? Like, I'm just going to let them take that one sheep away and just, say, Dad, sorry.
Yeah, right,
couldn't do nothing about it because he realistically couldn't. He himself couldn't do anything about it. But he chased after the bear and the lion.
Yep.
And killed them.
Yep.
Just with I think the stone, like the slingshot that he had.
No, one. I think one was a club. One was a club. I think he had a club. Didn't he?
Something, but like
or was that Samson with the club?
Well, Samson killed it with his bare
hands. So I think David had a club with the one. Yeah,
right. He had some kind of, because even on the battlefield because Saul gave him a shield, a sword, but he dropped it all. He said, "This isn't like what I work with. This isn't my thing." So he just picked up his stick that shepherds have and the slingshot and the 5 stones. That's all he had. And same with going after the bear and the lion is God gave him the strength to do it because, David is man after God's own heart. Like that's how it's mentioned. So David is always about, no matter how much things, and that's the thing that I recently found out about David. Because look, when I read the
Isn't
stories
that a
of
beautiful
David,
thing when you find that out?
Yeah. I looked at David as a very sinful person. Right. And I was always surprised because, dude, the things that he's done, right? Him and Solomon, I was always surprised. I'm like, yo, look, David is such a big figure in the Bible.
Yeah.
But look at this guy's life.
Very sinful.
Right.
Yeah.
Very sinful. I'm like, I probably wouldn't do that.
Right.
But then I see something in David that I do not see in myself. And that's a big one that is very unique, is how he was after God.
Yeah.
Like he was on his knees, praying to God, always repenting, always. This is what David has that a lot of Christians need, and we all need to take example of, is he saw himself where he was before God. And that's something we all need to see, is who we are before God. He knew who he was and his life showed it, but he also saw who he was before God, how sinful and, I guess, wicked his thoughts and his actions were before God. That's why he was always asking God for forgiveness, deliverance, because he was going through literal hell, like with his life, everything. Mm-hmm. And it was a different, lifestyle, obviously, in his day and age. But the idea is he was always after God, always thirsty for him. No matter what he went through, no matter what he did, he never took any pride. He was humble.
Yes.
That's what he had.
Yep.
This humility.
God loves humbleness.
Right.
Yes.
This humility that he had, and he wasn't perfect. He probably isn't a better Christian than some of the Christians that we will meet, but he had something that a lot of people don't have to that extent, is how he was after God.
Yep.
Like that was and that was just encouraging. When I found that out, I was like, all right, everything I said about or thought about David is completely wrong.
Yep.
Right? Because he wasn't lacking that one thing that God is looking for, is that humility.
No matter what he did too, it wasn't like he didn't go to the Lord.
Right.
Like that's why I think the Lord loved him very much as well, because when he did sin, he went to the Lord. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like other people are like, I sin and we just go, oh man, I screwed up or whatever.
No,
He
God
brought
will
it to
forgive
the
me, yeah.
Lord,
Right. Yeah.
Lord
You saw
honors
that
that.
in your story too.
Huh?
It was back and forth, like your situation
Yes,
story.
yeah.
It was back and forth.
Yes.
Going astray, coming back. Going astray, coming back.
So I got to tell you, I see David in that, and I thank the Lord for. Here's how I put it: we're all special in the eyes of the Lord. Each one of us is special, and for me to be that special, that He kept on me all those years, no matter where I went, what I did.
Yeah.
He put all these things in my path to just like the guy, Tara, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just different things, all these life to keep me on that path and not let me go too astray.
Yep.
It's
Guiding you.
amazing what he'll do to make sure you come to him, how
Yeah.
many chances he'll give us.
And it's also personal too. It's exactly like what we needed.
Yes.
It's who we were and who we needed. What kind of person did we need in our life to maybe lead us to the Lord? What are the questions that we had?
Yes.
And according to those questions, then He would, send that same person into our life to, answer those questions to some extent, right? He would also put us in situations that we would get to know Him better. Maybe for some of us it was alone time. Maybe for some of us it was, people telling us.
Alone
so
time.
It was,
Yep.
and it was a combination of both because you need
Yep.
it all. And the reason why I brought this up is because I just wanted to encourage you that I really don't think it's late. You want to write a book, I think you can do it. I think you can write a book that will reach many hearts. Your story is very inspiring. I'm so glad I heard it. And it can change so many people's lives, especially it's your passion.
Here's what I think about now with that. It creeps back in every once in a while, like an unfulfilled desire almost. Like
Yeah.
it's something, but I pass it off. I go, maybe it was just there to serve the purpose of me coming to know Jesus. But then I think He has something good for all of us. He has something great, right? Each one of us who He becomes our Father,
Yeah.
He has glorious plans for us. And I think He may want me to write something and we can all do it later in life. So I still have time. And I think there may be something, I think I had to mature in my Christianity. You know what I mean?
Right, of course.
I think He wanted that. And I got to tell you right now, I'm still maturing because I was such a late bloomer and went the route I did and kept backsliding. I feel now I'm just at learning, even though I know a lot of the Bible and stuff, I'm still just learning, just getting it pressed upon my heart again, just, really walking strong with Jesus for the first time, and like all in, all seriousness, like this is serious. This is your eternity kind of thing. And that's where I'm at. So yeah, there could be something there that He wants me to do.
100%.
I'm sure there is,
And it's like not losing to negativity, not losing to the devil who wants to stop you from that, not losing to the fear.
Yes.
Fear. If we lose to fear, we've really lost to one of the things that shouldn't hold us back as Christians.
Right.
It's not a matter of whether the book will get published. It's not a matter of how many people will read it. It's not a matter of how many people will maybe read it. It's not. I don't think it's never about that. It's a matter of, are you going to lose to the fear or not? Are you going to lose to the fact that you wanted to do something that you knew was meaningful? That's something that was always kind of after you, and you were always after that goal. But then you let the fear kind of stop you from going after that. Like, just maybe finish the book, write it, publish it, let people read it. You know what I mean? And then it doesn't matter how well the book does. It's out there. And that's the thing with books and stories and stuff too, is it's not a matter of if it will apply to the generation nowadays, or if hundreds of people will read it. All that matters is that one person who gets inspired from your story and is going through something very similar from you.
You're absolutely
and because
right.
you read it and you didn't lose to that fear.
As long as it could help one person, you're absolutely right. Yep. I know.
And
I think you're well spoken too, so you can definitely do that. You know what I mean?
Do?
I do think.
Thank
so.
you. I try to be.
Yeah.
I got a little brain.
You told the whole story. It's been
a little brain, my nigga.
1 hour. We're 1 hour 40 minutes in. Now I'm not even bored.
Well, I am. I gotta go. I'm hungry. You told me 1 o'clock.
Well, yeah, we gotta wrap it up anyway.
We told him 1
This
o'clock.
was supposed to start at 1 p.m.
First time our guest told us that he's bored.
But no, let's do the other things you said. Let's talk about Jesus in here. What are we doing?
Christian culture.
Paul, I also wanted to mention one more thing, right?
Questions after?
And we don't have to talk about it if you don't want me to, but when I heard this with, obviously people talk a lot about struggles and, why does God put people into suffering and all this stuff, right? Like, for example, your sickness, right?
Yeah.
Your cancer. And I heard this and it said, God gives his strongest warriors the toughest battles, right?
It seems like
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people go through this, and you can say it's a blessing, but then at the same time, it's also a blessing that he put you in a position where when you're going through this, you give me encouragement that when you go through this and you're still in church and you're not making too many excuses and fighting through it, right? Not just physically, but spiritually and mentally, that, it's one of those, cancer is one of those things where it's probably like the biggest, I guess, disease that people die from.
Yes.
And they don't really have a cure for it, right?
Yes.
And it's that faith that you gotta have every day, praying. You don't know. You don't know if it's gonna go away. You don't know if if you're ever gonna be fully healed.
Yes.
You know it's going good some days. Some days you're feeling bad, and it's that walk with the Lord.
Yep.
That's patience. You see His glory working. You also see that sometimes you need to strengthen your faith because you feel He's in a distance, but He's not in a distance. You just think that you're not close to Him. So you gotta He's always like working in your life in this mysterious ways.
Yes.
And you just have to believe that He's there. And no matter what happens, you have to have your eyes fixed on that. So I really ask everybody who's watching this to pray for Paul.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Ask God for the healing. And I believe that, things are going better.
Let me tell you something about that.
Yeah.
You said with the tie into the writing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I sit back now. I don't force anything on my own. I know. Remember how Tara said, I never wrote anything in my life. And last night, a spirit came over me, like the Holy Spirit, to write this poem. I feel when the Lord wants me, and I believe He's going to.
Yeah.
When He wants me to do it, He's going to give me the words to say, to put to the pen. And I think maybe it might be about this that I'm going through now.
100%.
See, that's what I mean. I wait. It might be all to tell the story about my faith going through the cancer.
Sure.
And how I held on to my faith and I believe Jesus.
But sometimes I feel like we also have to put in action too. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you start writing it, then, you know what I mean? Like, God will be there helping you writing it. You know what I mean? So it's like, at the end of the day, we got to also be taking that steps to start doing and start that journey for it to end, because it cannot happen without you starting it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
So I would encourage you to pick up that pen, open up a notebook, start writing it.
God gives us a shovel, but we need to dig the hole.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
So you can't just wait for it.
No, I know.
It happens.
What I'm saying, I think I'll know when it's time.
For sure,
you know
will.
what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it will be a very good thing to tie into the other story, because, everything happens for a reason in our lives. Everybody has the things that they go through, whether that be bad or good, for, God's glory to work in their life. So, now that you have this sickness that is bad, but in God's eyes, He's using that because you have more time on your hands now, for example, right?
Yes.
You're able to sit down and write.
Yes.
And this can also be very therapeutic. You have ambition, you have passion towards something that this is going to help people. Now, you don't think about, the sickness destroying you slowly, but you see this as something that's pushing you and using that to actually write the kind of story that will help other people through. For example, they're going through cancer and they're the ones not writing the book, but you have already wrote a book that they can read and say, oh, it's very similar to my thoughts. It's very similar to my experience because you did it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And God used you for that. So it's everything has its timing, and I think you can do it.
Thank you, guys.
I really encourage you,
Thank you, Michael, for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for hopping on, man. I love the story. I love
I'm going to read the quote of the day now.
No, we actually got some things
they're
before
telling
that.
me no. They're telling me no quote of the day.
No
people.
quote of the day. I'm going to ask you a question. All right?
Okay.
3 questions that we ask for every single guest.
Oh, okay.
All right. They're super simple. It doesn't, it's like it's super like a long question or anything like that.
Okay.
Number 1, what is one thing that you wish you knew earlier?
That you had to accept Jesus into your heart, repent of your sins, and that Jesus is the one true way to heaven. I wish I would have just known that at an earlier age and had that sink into me, you know?
Amen to that.
That it wasn't about church or it's about a relationship, I guess, to sum it up. That I wish I would have known about the relationship with Jesus.
Don't just know about him, have that relationship.
Yeah, and have that
connection with
relationship.
him.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah.
Number 2, if you had to give one piece of advice to the world, what would it be?
I guess read the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would
Amen.
be read it and go to a place that I could explain it to you. But also don't, what's the right word? Don't put it down, criticize it. Don't criticize it.
Yeah.
If you have no idea what it's in there
Challenge it.
and you just think you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you think you know the story of Noah's Ark and you want to go, oh, that could never happen. No guy ever. Read the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put it together. See what it's all about and how it all connects.
Don't be too quick to judge.
Yes.
And a lot
or
of the
don't talk
times-
about what you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't like when people do that.
Yeah.
Some
that's true.
guy's yelling at me about the Bible when he's never read a word of it. You know?
That's true.
I
Yeah.
go,
People.
okay, you have no argument. You know?
And I think a lot of the time some people are even afraid to challenge the Bible. And that's the thing is it also comes from maybe how they were raised or how they had a view on the Bible saying, oh, it's a holy book. I can't challenge it. I don't think God's going to want me to doubt.
Right,
But then
right.
you go in the Gospels and all you see is the disciples doubting, questioning
yeah.
Jesus. All you see is Pharisees always questioning Jesus in a negative manner. There's some people who are sincere, some people who are, the vipers as he calls them. But Jesus never says, oh, you know what? I don't feel like answering that. Or I don't want to answer that. Or, I'm just going to deny answer that. He always answered it. He always confronted the problem. He always actually gave an account for it.
Yeah.
There would be some times on, one of the story actually in there when Pharisees were asking him a question. On one of those questions, he says, then why should I tell you an answer?
Yes.
And when you read the context within that, they're asking him a very specific question that they would still not believe him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so at that point when they were asking, I think it was about John the Baptizer and Jesus
where was his baptism from?
Yeah, right.
Heaven or man.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't answer it. And he said, for the same reason, I'm not going to give you an answer. So it's like they didn't want to be the people who were involved in, questioning Jesus to know what he had to say. They just wanted to catch him on something so they could have a reason to kill him or crucify him or like whatever.
Say that he was false.
Exactly. But they still found a reason to do it.
Yeah.
They said, oh, he blasphemed, he's taking God's name in vain and these type of stuff. But the idea is he never even rebuked these disciples saying, oh, you guys have been with me all the time, but you guys are still questioning me about these stuff. No, he understood their situation. He always greeted them with love. So it's the same thing. He still lives today. He rose from the dead and he's around us. And when we challenge the Bible and the scripture and we don't understand it, that's why we don't understand it. It's for us to have answers.
Right.
And people shouldn't be afraid to challenge the Bible or even God.
Third question, Mike.
My man.
What is the biggest issue we face as a society, and how can we work to solve it?
You're gonna have to repeat that one, Mike. What is this?
Am
I still in solving the world's problems now?
Yes.
What is it?
What is the biggest? What are some issues that you see in society right now, and how can we work to solve it?
Well, I mean, you're asking a guy now
Yes.
whose total belief system is based on the Lord and Jesus. And so the biggest problem in the world is the lack of Jesus.
Amen.
The lost people, right? That's been going on since time began. And I got to tell you, though, the big problem would be that they're trying to get rid of us, I mean, they're trying to stamp us out now,
Good luck trying, right?
Even in America, I mean, they're just like, we don't want to see anything. Like they call it religion. That's how they justify it. no more religion. And I go, well, you're not stamping out a religion. What you're doing is trying to stamp out people's beliefs. So what you're saying is you don't ever want us to share what we think anymore. And if we do, kill us, basically.
Right.
Get rid of us. So that's a big problem, and it's going to get worse, and it says it in the Bible. So, I mean, the only solution, Mike, is just, we have to stand our ground. We just have to be, I believe in the quiet example. I believe in peace and quiet example as the way to convert. Not the ones who
showing, right?
Yeah, not the ones that go out and scream and yell and tell people they're going to hell and Bible thump them. And because people get turned off from that. So I believe what Jesus taught and what we need to do is just pray and just go about how we're going about it. And just, stay in the Word of God.
There's a way to do
be
both,
close to Jesus and I mean, I just think that's the biggest problem. It really is that they're trying to stamp out the one good thing in the world. I look at it because I come from a different generation. And, I remember when you could pray in school. I remember when you stood for the Pledge of Allegiance and all.
Right. And
they taught you that, in fact.
There's no debate about it. The world was a better place. The world has gotten progressively worse if you watch it. The more and more and more they take Christ out of it.
Amen. Yeah.
The more they want to stop you from praying in school and telling you. But if a Muslim wants to pray, that's their right.
Yeah,
they can go pray 3 times a day and miss math class if they want. You know what I mean? But
nobody has a problem with that. Nope. But as soon as Jesus Christ is mentioned, people get all riled up and they don't like it and they think you're the hypocrite but if somebody else, that's when the devil attacks the truth. Yep. Never attacks
and guess
a lie.
What they did? They took out the Pledge of Allegiance and they put LGBTQ movement.
Yep.
They taught kids to change their genders.
Yep.
Like, are you serious right now?
Serious, man?
And then they're saying that they turned the world into a better place.
I know.
Because more acceptance.
That's how lost. I always say we're living in an upside down world. Everything's backwards. It's going to get worse. Everything's up. That's down.
But the day's coming when he's going to make this perfect place.
Did I do good with answering the questions?
Yeah, you did good. You did good.
I've been here since last week waiting for the show to start. There was a camera problem.
Paul, let me ask. So, last thing, what would be one question you'd have for the next guest?
Ooh, for the next guest?
Yeah, you get to ask them any single question.
Write it down.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said you're going to write it down.
Oh, okay. Let me think. So I'm you guys now.
Well, you're you. Asking the next guest a question.
Next guest. You don't know who he is or she is. Or they. That sounds silly.
Ready, go.
Okay.
Ready, go.
My question would be, what is your favorite Bible verse and why?
Okay.
You're speaking
if
my
I
language.
got one question, I guess that's what I would ask them.
Yep.
You're speaking my language.
Paul, by the way, do you believe people must go to physical churches or can an online church be a good substitute? This is a hot topic question.
I was told there would only be 3 questions. Michael said that.
Whoa. Then Sadula has 3 questions, and then Georgie has 3 questions, and then you have 3 questions. Anyways.
Do you think I believe you need to go and absolutely fellowship with other human beings. And I went through a period where I went through all that. I didn't, you don't have to go to church, you know what I mean? Just
that online is just fine, right?
Yeah. Or, just read your Bible, as long. But no, you need the fellowship. I believe that Jesus put that on my heart. You need to see other Christians because if you do that by yourself, you're going to fall. It's going to be easier for you to be sucked into things of the world. First it'll start with something on TV, maybe. Something innocent. And if you don't have other people around to say, hey, you might not want to be doing that. Yeah, the devil's going to get a hold of you. We need to be in solitude, not solitude.
Sharpening each other.
We need to be in
fellowship.
Yeah, fellowship with one another and bonded with one another.
Yep.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron.
Amen.
My answer is yes too, bro.
Of course.
Yes, both are great. In person's always going to be the best option, though.
Always.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
Was that the question you asked?
The Christian culture.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. One more question. No.
Yeah.
And one more question. Can you please record it today?
Ready, go.
You want me to? Is it time?
Please, yeah.
Is now. Quote of the day is sponsored by Ice Cube Icebreaker.
$200 fee. It's a fee. We're sending you the bill.
Here's the quote of the day. He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain that which he cannot lose. That is from Jim Elliott.
What do you think, Paul?
Now, you want me to say what I think about that?
Yeah.
He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain that which he cannot lose. So, and you want me to relate that to? I don't know the exact verse, but that's...
No, talking to the mic, man. You're cutting out. Thank you.
I don't know the exact verse, but that's where, what good does it profit a man to gain the whole world if he's to lose his soul?
Yep.
Yeah, and I have one written down, Matthew 6, 19, 24. It's just about not like focusing on gaining things here that is, what's it called, temporary?
Yes.
Gaining something that you cannot lose, which is your relationship with Christ.
Yes. Do not store up things in
I was going to say,
earth, where moth can destroy that one.
And steal it.
Yeah.
In heaven, nothing can be stealed. Because everything is sealed.
Yep. Gathering your treasure in heaven rather than on earth.
Shout out of the day.
Shout out to you haven't
Mike,
done it in a long.
I want Mike to do it.
Okay. Lux by Lacey. Amazing work, young men.
Luke.
Exclamation. I love seeing young men talk about the most important topic in existence. Keep bringing the word of God to others.
Amen.
America.
That's the most
Yeah,
important
thank
thing
you,
in this
Lux
world.
by Lacey. We hope you stop by sometime.
Yeah.
Hop on the podcast. Right?
Come talk with us,
thank
Lux by Lacey.
Thank you.
These names, dude, sometimes I
love
just
it.
confused. Why?
They got their own reasons.
Lux by Lacey. All right. Paul, thank you so much, man. It was an honor.
Pleasure.
We're going to have you on again.
I'm
Hopefully
getting
in the
comfortable
future.
now, guys.
But this time we'll start filming earlier, right? We won't have you for 3 hours.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
My sister has called the cops and wonder where I'm at now.
They might show up. All right. Our ending statement is think big, grow big.
We could do like a cooking show Bible study.
Yeah. All right. Paul, think
show.
big, grow big.
Think big, grow big.
Think big, grow big. Ready?
What did I say?
Yes.
Think
big,
big,
grow big.
Peace.
Thank you.